So what I'd like to do here this morning is give a little bit of an overview of what's been happening at Bioindustrial Innovation Canada. As most here will know, we started out with as a CSIR funded by the NSERC government through NSERC. We've now 6 years into that mandate, and we've got basically 1 year left of our CSIR funding. And right now, as we transition away from that source of funding, we took the last year to reflect on what we were doing, where had we been, what did we see ourselves being in the future, and went through a fairly thorough strategic plan exercise. And what I wanted to do is go through that a little bit today and just highlight some of the things so that people understand what is Bioindustrial Innovation Canada and what are we trying to do. First, there's really two key priorities that we had in our original mandate and still is part of our mandate today, and that is the formation of clusters, and certainly what we've been doing here in the Sarnia area around the creation of our first hybrid chemistry cluster has been pretty successful to date. We've got one commercial plant being built here. I won't say the name because everybody knows it already, and we say that name numerous times. We've also got a number of demonstration facilities sitting out at the Western Research Park, some that are direct investments of the Bioindustrial Innovation Canada through Sustainable Chemistry Alliance, and another project is there taking advantage of the assets that are there. So cluster formation is an important piece of what we've been, and it remains an important piece of what we intend to be doing into the future. The second part is the focus on the the commercialization of bio-based and sustainable chemistry-based technologies. And this is being done through the networking that we've done historically through the Sustainable Chemistry Alliance and through the investment fund that it is the Sustainable Chemistry Alliance. So those two key platforms have been what we've worked on, and quite frankly, as we went through a strategic review, there was no surprise to any of us at the board that this is what we need to continue to be focusing on. This slide has been part of our repertoire from early days, and this is, we talk about the hybrid chemistry cluster. This has had other names over the years, but it's consolidated into this view of there is the traditional chemistry value chain that's out there. The chemistry value chain starting with fossil-based feedstocks coming from oil, gas, coal, other sources. And the key piece that we've been working on over the last number of years has been trying to insert into that value chain the bio-based feedstocks and biomaterials. And so this is a very good depiction of the value chain that's out there and how we can impact it and leverage it. When we went through a strategic review session, our mission was clearly defined, and it is to create jobs and economic value sustainably in Canada. And so for us to create jobs and economic value sustainably in Canada, it is about plugging these pieces in along this value chain, leveraging the existing value chain to create new jobs and wealth. We have 4 strategic objectives, and I wanted to summarize them here very succinctly. They recognize as a natural catalyst for hybrid technologies. That is the things we've been doing through the Sustainable Chemistry Alliance Fund and the network when we do. We want to catalyze the establishment of 3 clusters, Sarnia being the first and 2 others. The interesting words here are catalyze. We don't see ourselves as the builder of clusters. Clusters have to be built by those that reside within the cluster. Our role is to take what we've learned here in Sarnia and from our experiences over the last number of years and support those groups that are trying to do that elsewhere in the country. Third piece is the investment fund itself. We have an investment fund that has 12 investments in it today, with $5.5 million that's been invested in it. That fund is moving along quite well. We have a very high proportion of successful companies in that portfolio, and but at $5 million, we do not see it as being sustainable at this point in time. It needs to be larger. We need to start cycling the money around. We need to be coming out of some of the existing investments and reinvesting in new ones and putting some more money into that. And that's a priority for us, is to try and get that to happen. And the last piece, we've talked about sustainable chemistry and bio-based chemistry. One of the questions that often comes up is, what is the sustainable impact of that? Is it measurable? Bio by itself does not mean sustainable. And so there's always some questions about the sustainability of any of these technologies, and is it measurable? And one of the things we want to do at Bioindustrial Innovation Canada is to support the companies to be able to articulate their sustainable impact. So these are the strategic objectives that we have inside of Bioindustrial Innovation Canada and our fund, which is through the Sustainable Chemistry Alliance. Just as a wrap up on this, we've accomplished an awful lot as a group already. Over the last 7 years, we've invested $5.5 million in 12 companies. Those companies have been able to leverage $143 million worth of matching funding to that. That is an incredibly large leverage factor. For some, it's unbelievable, but we like to take people back and actually show them the facts and that this has really occurred. The second part of this is through the commercialization of some of these technologies and some of the companies in our portfolio. We've been able to generate 1,800 jobs, either direct by working for these companies or through the development of these demonstration plants and so on, or through the indirect jobs that come from having those companies in the area, as well as the construction jobs. And we're very proud of our accomplishments to date, and now we're working very hard to move forward and ultimately continue this going forward. We need to continue to focus on funding. We're looking at various routes of governmental and non-governmental funding to allow us to fulfill our mandate. So thank you very much.